We go racing! It's Max with a great start. Eamon has had a terrible start. He goes backwards as they head into turn 1. Christian will dive it down into turn 1 there. He's up to second, already trying to challenge for the lead. Eamon having to battle against Andy Park, possibly losing down to 4th place. They all shuffle through, and here comes Rahul. He's trying to go for P1. There's a big crash in the background as you see Rahul's going to back out. Eamon's going to shuffle up to 3rd, and Santos going to try to follow behind through as quick as possible. They all get through to see the Delago. It's now time for the Ferradura as Eamon defends off against Andy Park for the right-hander. And now Santos has an opportunity to send it down the inside. Park goes wide, and Park defending it. And this is what Eamon needs. He needs all these drivers to put up a monster class of a defense, because P6 and lower will allow Eamon the championship, but Eamon has to win the race. So he's got 2 cars ahead of him for the top. We get back up to the front, and Max is actually getting... Oh, no, there's trouble. It's not who I think it is. It's Daniel Santos. Oh, my goodness. He's down at 8. He's out. He's out through the Descina Delago, and it's the worst that can happen to the championship leader. And Eamon has got himself 1 bit of clear air as he challenges for the title. It's an absolute nightmare. What went wrong for Daniel Santos? He's down in 8th. Absolute trouble, and the top 3 very close with each other. We're getting word that Daniel Santos ate the curb. It's shades of Imola, where he got it wrong on the curb. It sent him spinning out wide. The curse of the curb. Has it costed him the title? We don't know. It's 37 minutes in the championship left to go. It's so exciting. Absolutely barnstormer here as Rahul trying to get a run on Maximilian Flair. He does so around the outside. He can't get it done. Max is just putting his car perfectly on the circuit. Max is hunting down crucially for a race win. He hasn't been able to really take on much as the top 4 nose to tail between each other. Now, if I'm Eamon, what do you do? Do you bite your time in this battle? Looks like Rahul might force it down the inside. It's going to slow down. It's going to slow down. Oh, and Eamon almost slips on the curb. He recovers it. Andy Park will take advantage of Eamon, and now Park will go around the outside. Door is wide open. It's way too far open. Eamon will try to get back that move up to 3rd, and he will. It'll now invite Gabriel Costa to this fight. It's so exciting out here. I'm not having a chance to breathe how close this racing is. Very, very close. Stoyanko will try to take it around the outside. Mike Van Toorn will defend. Hold on there, Dutchman. The Flying Dutchman. Can he keep P5? Can Danielle dive it down the inside? Oh, it was very close. Looks like Van Doorn will take it wide. Santos, though, will take advantage of Danielle, who had the door shut on him. Santos, can he get P6 on this one? Stoyanko chasing down. He'll let the position go through. Daniel Santos is up to 6th. And now next up, the Flying Dutchman, Mike Van Doorn. Santos is a man possessed, trying to get back what he lost. Now as we head down the inside, does he take it? He did it with Danielle, he does not do it here. And the paddock pen is saying there was a huge flip on the back straight at some point earlier on this race. It would have still been green regardless. As we head into Descina Delago down the inside, it's a late dive. Luckily though, Santos does not decide to go for the move, but I think it spooked Mike Van Doorn just enough to let the door open. They're neck and neck. Door tapping there between each other almost into the right-hander of the Ferradura, and Danielle will also have a chance to sneak it down the inside. Danielle, does he get this move back up to 6th? Santos will get the inside for this part. Side by side, door to door. The Porsche, you're going to see it up the inside. inside. Switchback of dreams. Maybe Santos was looking for. Cannot get it done. What a race this is. 26 minutes left to go. And it's still undecided what the championship's looking like and who's winning this race. But now Santos has the run of all runs. That happened just a couple laps though. They've completed 12 laps of this race. Park goes wide. Eamon, does he take the opportunity to send it? He's already well and truly along the inside. He will get the move done. Eamon Nasseir, his championship hopes just get that much brighter. He's up to second. Job's not done yet. One man left to go. It's 1.7. I know he's going to be thinking about, oh, he's going to get a penalty, but for safekeeping, get a move on because Santos is hustling. He's still in 6th. He's looking for 5th. That will ruin any sort of chance at your championship. We got to imagine. What's that? Whoa, trouble! There is no way. Did Daniel Santos just crash out the session? There is absolutely no way did that just happen! Did Santos just crash? We're figuring it out now. We're trying to figure out what just happened. We don't see Daniel Santos. He's gone. He's gone, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Daniel Santos may have lost the title due to connection disconnectivities. His engine is blown up. Even Christian Ramau is gone. Both Christian Ramau and Daniel Santos have just crashed out the session. The boogeyman of the championship may strike again, and I hope it doesn't. But here we go. On the loud pedal, on the run, up the road, 3rd place. Mike Van Dorn on the slipstream, looking very fast. Does he take it to the inside, outside? Pick your poison. He'll take it to the outside, the long way around. It could be very dangerous for Eamon. Does he back out? He fights hard with all his might. Into the left-hander, he'll close the door. Now, one thing I haven't also talked about is the team standings. It's P4 and P8, but I don't know how close that's going to be. A 10-second time penalty for Crawford for cutting the circuit. Here comes Mike Van Dorn. He'll take it down the inside. Eamon Nasseir defends. It's beating. It's battering down through the straight, heading into Descida del Lago. It's still contact between them. Eamon's been sent wide. It's shades of 2021's F1 Interlagos Brazilian Grand Prix between Max and Lewis. It's a hard battle. Eamon's down to 4th. And what does Crawford do? Does he let through? He does. Right on the brakes. And Eamon next to get through on this one. He'll be seeing him. Gap is 4 seconds now. Maximilian is. And if Eamon finishes in 5th, he'll still win this championship, albeit 2 points. A race that he felt like he should have won it. Oh, no, 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 trouble! Oh, no, Jarrell made contact with Mike Van Dorn! Eamon's back on the podium! Eamon is back on the podium! And Van Dorn will take a 10-second time penalty because of it! Can you believe it? It's still not over, but Eamon has found himself back on the podium! Andy Park, ladies and gentlemen, took a hiatus from us from being on a controller, wanting to get on a wheel and pedal set, and has mastered it and has come back strong. Andy Park will take victory at Interlagos in the final race of the championship. Park wins. Costa will send the home crowd flying, but it's this man. Eamon Nasseir has absolutely pushed the odds out of the way. He's going to finish 4th, which will be the perfect amount of points he needs. He is champion of the world. He wins it. The championship is his. What a fight to the very end. Van Dorn will take a 10-second time penalty from his cutting. It may be reviewed because of how we got that one. But as it stands, as all these top drivers are now done and dusted, you look at a driver who takes a championship home. Another one. I don't know how he's feeling for the amount of racing that truly went down to be.
「 scars deep enough to last. Heart full of broken glass, and I'm gonna paint it black. Oh, I got bruises I covered up. I've been used every time I loved. Nothing to lose when the devil comes. Oh, turn out the lights, we can turn them out, 'cause turn out the lights, we can burn them out, 'cause I know what's waiting, I know what it's made of, what it's made of. Come and take me closer to the edge, shadow. If you think you can't love me, you can show me how to have a breakdown. If you're gonna touch me.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. It is time for MX-5 for the first time in CMRSC history. Welcome out all over the world as you tune into an 8-round championship, 4 weeks of racing coming up here. It's all going down. A brand new championship here in CMRSC. Welcome out, everyone, over in the chat side on YouTube as we are about to get this one underway. I'm your host, Rahul, Nasseir from Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. We've had a week break to reset the gears, and now we're racing something a lot more slower pace, but you're going to get such a different type of racing. Over the last week, I was headed out to Florida to check out the MX-5 Cup round 3 and 4 at St. Petersburg. And I've taken a good bit of information to try to portray, and we're going to try to put down a championship that's going to go globally and will have racing like no other. So it's going to be an amazing one out here. Mic check, mic check. But yes, as we are getting ready to go here, it's going to be split qualifying as we're about to sound it off here in a minute and 25. It's going to be 25 minutes of qualifying, but it's split. So we're going to have a first segment go up for 10 minutes, and the second segment will be going out after. Once we get into racing, though, it's a mandatory tire change for a pit stop, no extra lap after the timer expires, and no virtual safety cars. Take a look at the calendar. It's for the first 2 rounds are here at Brands Hatch. Next week out, we head to Mosport Park for the Canadian Grand Prix. After that, it's Sportsland Shugo making a long-awaited comeback for the Japanese Grand Prix. And we round it out at Sydney Motorsport Park for the Australian Grand Prix. Every race will hold 2 rounds each. So we have a lot to play for in this one. Lots of racing coming up your way. The drivers sit in pit lane. They get ready for this one. Here we go. So let's swing it over to race direction and let's sound it off here. All right, welcome. First round of the championship, first round of qualifying. It's going to be split qualifying, so make sure you are on the list for segment 1, and if your name is there, you are heading out in 10 seconds. We'll let you know when the virtual checkered flag comes out, but that's going to be with 15 minutes left to go in qualifying. So segment 1 drivers, you are free to come out once the green light is ahead of you. All segment 2 drivers must stay in the pit box at all times to avoid a penalty. If you do come out and this is not your segment, you'll be receiving a penalty by the end of the race. So, qualifying now officially underway here as drivers, some of them sitting in the pits, the rest, they're out on track. So here we go. Couple new set of faces around here, and a lot of returning ones. You're going to notice a handful of drivers you may not be seeing for this championship. They're decided to take a bit of a break, and I know they're going to be watching somewhere around for the broadcast, so they'll be watching very closely as a lot of these drivers who don't really get as much love and attention on the streams as we should be giving them. They're going to get a lovely chance around here to show their stuff. So this is, of course, split 1 of qualifying, and it's going to be a bit of a wonky number around here because we did have open practice throughout the past 2 weeks, so a lot of drivers do decide to make their laps known there. Now, with that being said, it looks like we're having a bit of a short group out here. But regardless, though, the rule's still set in stone. We're not going to change anything last minute. So for this first 10 minutes out here, we're going to get 4 drivers around, while the rest of the top 15 are going to be staying into the pits. So a little bit of a shame that we couldn't get not every single driver around here. We're missing the likes of Rosa, Young, Webster, Moore, Durant, Perez, Lima, Bordon, Aprano, Anderson, Clark, Crawford, Fernandez. Hopefully they'll be joining us once we get racing properly underway. But as it stands now for qualifying, maybe they're making their late showcase out here. But not to fear, even though you may see about 4 cars on track, it's still going to be 4 cars that are, honestly, it's good that they were not as quick in free practice because now they have a lot more clear air than the faster guys. But as we continue out here on track, we're looking at Muhammad right now as we're going to be watching and seeing what this first lap in qualifying is going to look like here. We have 17 drivers on for this race, so it's going to be a fun one. It's going to be a very fun championship up the road. MX-5 racing has been very fun. Welcome, everyone, in the chat, by the way. Mike has jokes saying, yeah, you do have jokes, buddy. Is that a tan? Okay, it might be a tan. Yeah, Sun was not as nice. And yes, Danny Nasseir is here, yes. Founding father and my father as well. But as we continue this one here, 21 minutes. Of course, we're going to be going up to the 15-minute mark, so it's the calm before the storm, especially with this first bit of qualifying here. But as we round out the final corner, here comes Muhammad as he's racing down to the line. The driver from the UAE will cross the line. The drivers will be chasing down a 140.403. Next up to the line, Gabriel Martins from Brazil, putting it down 3 seconds off there just at the moment. P3 up next. There's Danny Nasseir, and P4 will now go to P3, a 43.177. And once again, a very calm qualifying until 10 minutes of the rest of the drivers coming right out. Here is Felipe making a mistake there, going wide into the dirt. Can he recover it? Does he hit the wall? A hard crunch. He may take that one to the pits. However, honestly, I don't blame him if he stays out. These laps are very long. It's a minute 40 to come back around. Add that, you're going to be into the pits. That might be 2 minutes completely wasted. If you don't have that much damage on your car and you could go out again, do it. Get out there, try to go again, and see what you can do. But since we do have 4 drivers here on track, we do have a great chance to personally talk about them and get acquainted. I do see another driver coming out from P18, that is. Let's see, can we find him? We'll find him eventually, but Mohammed here joining us. He started racing in Roblox. He tried the GT4 Championship in CMRSC. That was last year. He's more of a hot lapper himself in GT cars and loves circuit racing. And it's a circuit like no other. Brands Hatch, very famous track around here. He sees us just a second off. Here comes Gabriel Martins next to come to the line. If it's any improvement, no, it's 4/10 down. P4. Here comes Danny Nasseir. This should be the first official lap, and he does so. Puts it in P2. And Felipe will be coming up next at P17. Leonardo, that is who we were missing there. Let's continue down the order here. Gabriel Martins. Now, during the sign-up phase, we asked all the drivers to give us some fun facts about yourself, something to talk about as we invite drivers from all around the world, and the only chance we get to talk to them is if they are on the podium. That will change very soon, that we'll be able to talk to more drivers throughout events. But Gabriel, nonetheless, though, joining us from Brazil. And for him, he started racing back in 2019. He drove a lot of trucks in Euro Truck Simulator 2. And now he does love himself a bit of multi-class racing. It's definitely a step away in these MX-5 cars. Very low powered. You got to treat him like a go-kart. Really got to fling him around the circuit. As Mohammed just getting some trouble there around the... getting onto the back straight. He's got going. Danny Nasseir, of course, one of the main founding fathers. And fun fact, if you didn't know, he is actually the person who came up with the name Caribbean Motor Racing Sim Club. So if you didn't know that fun fact, and now you did, it's going to be on the test. But yes, Danny Nasseir has been with us quite a while. He has won a championship before in the form of the 2023 IMSA Assetto Corsa Sports Car Championship in the prototype class. I know when you think of that and you think of the field we have today, it was definitely a different environment back then, but that's not to take away from some of the greats we had back then. But such a special moment here. You plan on having a guest commentator. I gotta figure out how that's gotta work on Discord, that's for sure. As P4 now comes across the line, that's Felipe. He's going to come across 46.582. I got to figure out a lot more around here as Felipe takes a little bit of a drift into turn 1. Yeah, there's a lot of setup that will take a couple days to, because I know we use Discord, of course, for communication. If you want to get a part of the action here, is Felipe giving us a bit of a show there, sliding there off the circuit. Comfortably out the way from anyone else who's trying to put down a lap. But we do have to get some more commentators up here very soon. Do we support the Segment 1 community? Of course we do. What? Segment 1 community over Segment 2 in my eyes. These guys get a lot of love from me and should, because from the whole community. These guys, even though they are holy high-pitched voice. Yeah, my bad. I'm actually running with a little bit of a sore throat. I don't really like talking about myself too much here. I like talking about the drivers here on track, but yes, I am rocking with a bit of a sore throat, which is not the best. So I'm not going to hit my high notes, sadly. My opera singing when I do see somebody flipping on the roof. And with these convertibles, almost maybe falling out the car entirely. But I can assure you, these seatbelts are tight. And the CMRC safety crew is top peak. It's that one gif of that security guy who's just putting his hands like beside people, barely even checking them, just letting them through. That one old dude. That's basically our security, but trust us, it's completely fine. We have 38 seconds left to go until this qualifying's over, and the Yapathon will conclude at the 10-minute mark. That is when we're going to get the rest of the crew on track. So everyone who's just sitting in pit lane, these guys are putting down rubber for them, but they still have some laps to take down. Charge of the temps, all the humidity of Florida. Yeah, that's also the case there, but 10 seconds now left to go. Webster saying good luck to Danny Nasseir. Somebody else saying unfortunately can't run. Oh, it's Gabriel Costa. Good luck to everyone. Gabriel Costa. Hopefully we could see you very soon. The virtual checkered flag, though, is now out as Muhammad now sets down a lap. He'll be coming up very soon. So the virtual checkered flag is out from this point. If you have already crossed the line for the 15-minute mark, please head to the pits. So drivers now going to finish up their final bit of qualifying until the 10-minute mark, but they do have to finish this one immediately. Here comes Muhammad, though. He's absolutely flying around here. Now into the left-hander. Accelerating out. Looking pretty good out there. On this lap, we'll go on board. Driver's eye as we head into Clark Curve the final time. And racing to the line now is an improvement from his 140, 403. It is not. So that's him done and dusted. So unfortunately, no improvements there. Here comes Leonardo. Now crossing through Dingledell. Some of the corners have some funny names here as we now head into Sterling's, into the left-hander. Real late, getting back on the throttle. And now Leonardo, one corner to go here through Clark Curve, this time by. And crossing it now from P4. He's 2 seconds down on this lap, but he'll come to the line there. It's a 142.384. So once again, if you have crossed the line already, you cannot complete another lap. You must take it to the pits. If you didn't cross the line, if you already crossed the line when it was 15 minutes left to go in the session, otherwise, it will be a time penalty for you at the end of the session. So, we do still have 2 cars left on track, but my very strong suspicion is that both of these 2 drivers have already completed their qualifying sessions, and I am not too sure why they are still out here. Muhammad's going to come around again. Maybe he did get to the line in time. I was not really paying close attention, but this time for sure, it will be Muhammad's final lap as he crosses at 44.0. And that is done there. So we're now waiting for segment 2 to begin there as we're getting note at the top. So that is qualifying done for the first part. Again, only 5 drivers, so very anticlimactic bit of qualifying, but all hell's gonna break loose in just a moment. So now we patiently wait. So that is segment 1, qualifying complete. Once again, any drivers who are out from that part, yeah, okay, Layla, I do see what you're saying there. If we can find him and get him here, because he will be disqualified entirely from the entire event if he's not here. That would be a waste of 2 weeks of practice. But yes, all drivers do need to be in the session here. We have 1 minute, though. So if you're segment 2, you're focusing as soon as you see that 10-minute point left to go, you're free to come out. Once again, though, please stay in your pits. That is a rule. You must stay in your pits. That is the pit box, to be specific. So, 30 seconds left to go. And, oh, no. We do see the one driver coming up. Once again, if you've left your pit box before the timer runs out, you will be receiving a time penalty for the race. I see you out of your pit box. I do suggest you should teleport into the box before the timer runs out. If that wasn't your box there at the front, it will be looked at. But 10 minutes now. Segment 2, free to go. So here we go, and here comes the rest of the drivers now getting up and going. So, we did get a little bit of a oopsie moment there from Mohammed. First event, and unfortunately just did not catch the rule book. That's out in the open for everyone to read. But we get going here, and you look at the map, it's absolutely packed to the brim with everyone. 33 concurrent viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in. It's only qualifying, but hold your horses here. It's 2 30-minute races coming your way. It's going to be a spectacular one, but now we're in the more entertaining part of qualifying. Let's have some fun. What is the most difficult part of this track? Well, there's a couple, and I think Layla's gonna take us through it. We're gonna start off with turn 1, a very tricky part here. Braking early, you want to let the back end loose, get to the apex as soon as possible, and just let the steering open up as we now head up the hill for Druids. But this is now even trickier part due to the track limits as we head into Graham Hill Bend. Into the left-hander, just touch the outside curb, ride the inside a bit, and keep those left tires crucially on the red and white painted curbs. Anything out, that is a track limits warning. Heading into this left-hander, this part of Surtees, very easy to go through. You just want to get the braking done early, coast it through, get on the power just a little bit after you get to the midway part of the corner. From here, though, it's actually a fun roller coaster. Through Pilgrim's Drop, we now head into Hawthorne Bend. Layla absolutely destroying the gearbox here. I've not seen anybody else, to my knowledge, just fully rev it, 4th gear into there. It does wreck the gearbox just a tiny bit. This part also a very fun roller coaster, very easy to touch track limits through Dingledale, now through Sheens, and you just want to launch over the curb, now into the left-hander of Sterling's, and from this point on, it's a very simple run to the line. I say that, and wrestling that MX-5. Layla trying desperately to hold on to this lap. She's been one of the fastest all week long. Round the final corner, though, of Clark. And crossing the line now. Is it a valid lap? And my suspicion, it's not. So, we're waiting now as Andy Park will set down the first lap of 38.991. The fastest driver who was with the quickest time in practice week as the returning Cody Lawrence. I think a lot of people here in chat, you may know him as our open wheel specialist, the winner of the 2025 Formula One CMRC World Championship and the 2000 Grand Prix Championship, the only driver in CMRC history to sweep a championship, a win in every single one, but not a full sweep. He's missed out pole 1 out of the 5 rounds, but he still won the rest of the races. So perfect lineup of race wins and pole positions. They are still out there to claim. Famous quote from The Rock, the final boss, if you will. Records are made to be broken. That's 100% this is. Cursed Cody not driving an open wheel. Well, fun fact there, Danny. This actually is not the first time Cody has been in a car that's not been open wheel. His debut in CMRC came from the 2024 GT4 International Championship. And by all means, he only joined because we were racing at Portland, and that is one of his home circuits. So we're going to see how he does in MX-5s, but ahead of him is Andy Park, but Layla will go faster with a 38.650. Now we're having some fun. Danny saying, yes, race with him in GT4. Indeed, yes, you did race with him in the Caribbean Championship. That's 2025, but yeah, but he did debut back in 2024, so that's a little more, a couple more months older than you, CMRC age-wise. But watching Layla here was really the driver to watch out for, mainly for this championship. And we're going to see how she's going to do throughout it. She's been one of the drivers who's been very vocal and said, MX-5s, this is my bread and butter. This is the one I will be dominant in. Are there any veterans on track who might have an edge? Now, you may think the answer is yes, but it's actually no. Over time, I think the age has just gotten to a lot of drivers. People are just getting way too old. I mean, look at this guy right here, Mike Van Dorn, one of the oldest guys. He doesn't even know qualifying has begun. He's still in the pits for all week. I'm kidding. A lot of the drivers around here, a lot of the quicker drivers have been with us for the past 2 years. That's a majority of our grid, mainly brought up around just 1 year. That's like Mr. Santos. Mr. Santos will be around. This is, of course, MX-5 March, Mazda March, whatever you want to call it. As Layla goes faster, 138.551. Oh no, I've offended the OGs, the old guys around here. Please stop talking about old people. Martin Webster, not to throw you under the bus, but one of our day ones and one of the very original founding fathers of CMRSC. And one of the guys out here who actually came up with the idea for the league in general. It's a very, very long story. We need to have a Netflix special about it, if we ever do. Layla, however, going faster in the first sector. We have a bit of split screen action. I know the saturation on the split screen is very turned up. I promised the GoPro was just not... I promised the GoPro was not washed in milk before we mounted these cameras on the car. But nonetheless, it's still going to be a good qualifying session for Cody Lawrence, for Andy Park. Mr. Santos has mentioned his top 3. And our guru, we'll see how he does. He predicted that the podium, I don't know if about a win, but a podium, it's looking like a Layla, Cody, Andy. And right now, they're the top 3 fastest in qualifying. We're under 2 minutes left to go. Cody's going fastest in the middle sector, but here comes Layla Petragula, Miss Midnight Bloom, inside line to cross it. And is it quicker? It is. It's a 138.420. And Cody Lawrence, he crosses the line. It's not enough. Park as well will actually take down Lawrence and Andy on the front row. Andy Park, our winner 2 weeks ago at Interlagos for the finale of the GT World Challenge. So no stranger to the top step whatsoever as they drift through just slightly through Graham Hill. And look at those times, the top 4. And we haven't even talked about this man here, Regan Milana, rocking the number 95 Rusties, a car that actually races in the real world. This same MX-5 paint scheme, racing in the MX-5, Mazda MX-5 Cup. And it's an absolute beauty to see this one here. Chat saying, why he ain't qualifying? What do you mean? I just said. He's one of the older guys here. He can't even remember when qualifying begins. Now he's figured it out. And I'm sure he's about to just put this one on the top here with 15 seconds to go. It looks like he's trying to pull off a Kimi Antonelli. If you haven't watched F1 qualifying for the Australian Grand Prix, I won't give too many spoilers for it. I'll keep my mouth shut. But let's see if Mike Van Dorn can kind of pull it off. As checkered flag is now out. Park is going to be the first one to cross the line. A 38.561. It's not going to be enough to hold on to the front row because Cody Lawrence will snipe it right back. But still, nobody can touch Layla. She's actually in the pits. Now, next to come across the line, a lot of drivers. Emmanuel, next to cross from P10, will stay 10th position. Eamon will go up to 10th, pushing him down. He's in the top 10. Next to the line, P7 of Oleg now. Sanson, nothing can be done there. P12 to the line, Alexander Ferrero. Debut race. But nothing can be done here for qualifying. Conti, P5. And we now await the last couple drivers. And this is the one to look out for. Mike Van Dorn. And is there potentially a chance that he could... Hey, can he save it? Can he save it? Drifts it into the gravel trap. And you know what? He may start in P9, but at least he's got a clean car with no damage on him. He'll stay right to the outside of the circuit to allow one Evan Steinberg to come around. But poor Mike Van Dorn will probably start P9 in this one. Steinberg, however, looks like he'll take it to the pits. Mike Van Dorn, I was saying. Yes, Mike Van Dorn to 9th behind. I think that's another driver taking it to the pits. I think everyone is done with qualifying. And look at that. Layla Petraglia on pole position out here. It's a 1 minute 38, 420. All right, congratulations to your top 3. Layla, Cody, Andy. Okay, I'll put out one more to everyone in chat to get them in here. Of course, if you're not in this voice chat, you will be disqualified from this one entirely. Do we have everyone? We are missing one driver here. I'm not too sure who it is. We'll try to find them in just a moment, but qualifying complete. And we have 2 races coming up for you here today. It's 5 o'clock Eastern, and I think we've just got him. All right. I think we now officially have all drivers in the Discord voice channel. Welcome, first round of the championship. Here's what you need to know. 30 minutes of racing, mandatory tire change. There's a pit window that opens immediately as the race begins. It'll close with 5 minutes left to go. This is the same for both races. Both races have the exact same rule set, mandatory tire change. Even though the tires can make it to the end, you do still have to make that tire change, spicing things up a little bit. As for, I think we've actually, we're already through qualifying, so thank you, Tiago. You're cleared now from your penalty there for your qualifying thing. Your qualifying penalty, so you are good to go for the rest of the events here. Other than that, let's have a great race out there. If you have any questions, do let me know in general. And Daniel Santos taking a lot of gloat in the Discord. He predicted his top 3 in qualifying. I wonder if he can get into it. Yes, no virtual safety cars for this one. And Mohammed, he's actually one of the only drivers here on mouse and keyboard. But that's what it's looking like here. When we come back, it's time for racing. Don't go anywhere. We have a minute left before we get race 1, round 1 underway. Tunes here from Monstercat as we get this party underway. Let's take a look at some of these cars here. And a couple of the liveries that we're going to be seeing out on track. Here's our pole sitter, Leila Petraglia. Let's take a look at it there. Absolutely lovely stuff here. And is that the rear bumper? The rest of the drivers are going to be checking out. Next up, Cody Lawrence. That's Andy Park. Evan Steinberg, custom livery out here. Steinberg Motorsport, that's what they're called. A little bit of a bump draft sticker there. Will he regret it? There is Riga Milana in his number 95 Rusties. Mike Van Dorn in the Red Bull inspired livery. Alexander Ferrero debut out here. He's in the Williams inspired livery. Eros Conti, number 47. Teaming up with him, Richard Nevis in the 966. Daniel Tabener, welcome back. He's here at home. Oleg in the SMP Racing Machine, Eamon Espear in some Ferrari colors. And we're going to send it up to the grid. So here we go. Let's get this one started out here. We have 2 minutes left to go before we get this one underway and racing. If you're just tuning in, we've just completed qualifying. Here's how the standings are looking. So, it's Layla who starts it off, P1, followed by Cody Lawrence and Andy Park. Layla with a 138.420. Next up, it's Regan Milana, Eros Conti, Evan Steinberg, Daniel Tabener, Alex Sanson, Mike Van Dorn, Eamon Espear, Emmanuel, Alexander, Richard, Mohammed, Joshua, Danny, Gabrielle, Leonardo, and Felipe. 19 drivers will enter the fray here today, but only one man or woman, they will call themselves race winner here in round 1 of the championship. So remember, it's a mandatory tire change. You're allowed to refuel if you'd like, but you must pit within the pit window. Best of luck. Here we go. First round about to get underway here. And we're going to sound out the lights. The first race of the championship. Round 1. Let's do this. As the lights will come up on your screen now. It's 4 lights on the board. We go racing at Brands Hatch. Nevis will get a drive-through for jumping the start as we race into turn 1. How are they gonna fare? As they all go through to the right-hander. It's looking pretty clean as they go down the hill, trying to catch up with the rest of the drivers. It's Layla on the inside as Cody Lawrence tries to find a move around the outside, cannot get it done. Park is trying to find an advantage as the top 3 starts to get single file. How do they fare around Clark Curve? I did see one driver spin, 2, 3, 5 cars off. Just the one driver getting it wrong. May have been tapped around, but up at the front, it's still Layla leading. Andy Park will have a run around the outside as we now get into clearways. Slipstreaming engaged as Conti is going to watch out, and he's going to stay in his regular line. Park takes the regular racing line, trying to look for the move, stays nose to tail. Oh, he's made contact! Andy Park's made contact with Cody Lawrence. He's been spinning down the order, facing the wrong direction, and that is a huge moment here for Cody Lawrence. I don't know what went wrong there, but Park coming out from a race victory at Interlagos, trying to get this one back going, and unfortunately it's just gone wrong and downhill. It'll be reviewed at the end of this race as Riga Milano will take it to the inside of Conti. And we complete lap 1 as the top 2 start to spread apart. 3rd place, that might be one to talk about. Does Steinberg take it up the inside to make it 3 wide here? It's very dangerous. Conti tries to watch the space on the outside. Tavener touches the gravel on corner exit. As we head into Pilgrim's Rise, Conti will lose another position as Mike Van Dorn will snipe one down the inside. Eamon Espear trying to find some room of Oleg now side by side with him, trying to get the turn in done here, trying desperately to stay within track limits. They only have 8 cuts before they have to get a time penalty. 3 wide in the back. Very close together here as Oleg trying to make some ground, losing out. I also saw Evan Steinberg, Riga Milana side by side. Mike Van Dorn, he's trying to bump draft Evan Steinberg. He is. We go driver's side here on board with Mike Van Dorn. It's contact between them. McQueen is fading fast. Riga Milana sent out wide as he went side by side with Eamon Espear. And, with Evan Steinberg. Eamon Espear now behind. So much chaos here in the opening stages of this one. Absolutely insanity in this early goings of this one. But up at the front, it's still Layla leading. Mike Van Dorn has entered the podium. What an early drive from him. And we're only 4 minutes into this race. Conti is behind, followed by Evan Steinberg, a bit beaten up, bruised already. We look down the order, and we're trying to find, there is Cody Lawrence, a passenger in that incident that went down. Such a shame. But work to do here in this early phase of this race. Only 4 minutes complete, so a lot of work to do as Oleg had it wrong out of turn 1. Eamon, Regan will both take advantage and get the move done. They're now P6 and 7. No, don't do those hand gestures. Don't do the meme. Andy Park, though, has slid round Surtees, desperately trying to hold on to the tail end, but they are teammates after all, so they're going to work together to stay up at the front, but it's still a championship to rise around. They are Team Alpha Tail as ProMix P3. That's your battle for P4. Here's Evan Steinberg trying to hustle, get past Conti as soon as possible, chase down for a podium here. Just in sight, but he's got to get past the Argentine to do so. And easier said than done. Conti has been a very fun driver to watch as we now look at the rear cam here in this spec series as we head into the left-hander of Sterling. And oh, Steinberg slides the rear. Almost as he hit the wall. He doesn't, but he made a crucial mistake there. gets it wrong, and he goes down the order. In a huge moment as his teammate Joshua Steinberg will get the position from him, as well as Thiago Ravaz and Cody Lawrence may also get an opportunity to get a move done here. But what a shame! And Evan is going to take it straight to the pits. I don't blame him. Has to watch his pit speed before he speeds into the pits, but he gets it done. And it's also interesting to note that we also had the likes of Richard Nevis, who did get that jump start, but at the end of lap 1, went straight into the pits, got that one sorted. Holy, what a moment. It's a crazy race out here. Evan already in the chat saying, I suck, but don't you worry. It's still a long race to go. Taberner is also in the pits here in this first goings of this race. But up at the front, Andy Park, Leila Petraglia working together. 24 minutes left. They also have a pit stop to complete. So a long way to go until we get this one sorted. And this is, of course, round 1. Round 2 of racing, it's not next week. It's coming up in 23 minutes time. You don't want to go anywhere for it. We still got a long way to go. Great racing coming up here as Riga Milana now finds himself chasing for the top 5 against the man who took the GT World Challenge Championship of 2026, Eamon Espeir. So this is going to be such a fun fight here. Equal machinery, and it's also to note fixed setups. So all these drivers are running the exact same setup. All it's down to is skill. There's very little you can play around with, such as the tire pressures. It's only going to do you well for long stints, but when it's proper door-to-door racing, it's going to be a whole different ball game. Into turn 1, now on exit, heading into Pilgrim's Rise through Druids. And the number 95 trying to get back up from what Regan lost earlier on in this race. So many drivers unfortunately got it wrong at the get-go, but it's very crucial to say, 0 retirements, knock on wood, and let's keep that up. But of course, all these drivers will be racing for that race 2 position. It's not a reverse grid. It's just one and done. As Joshua Steinberg is having a little bit of fun. Driver up ahead there, Emmanuel, just touching the grass on the outside, had a bit of a run. So this straight is just going to feel like he's a sitting duck. And here comes Joshua Steinberg down the inside. This is Evan Steinberg's older brother. And he is showing his brother, his little brother, how it's done. We have not seen very much, if not at all, of Joshua Steinberg racing with us. It's very awesome to see him, and he's doing a very good job out here getting some positions where it matters the most. Emmanuel, though, will take it into the grass, and Cody Lawrence will get another position. He is now firmly in the top 10. He now chases down Joshua, but up at the front, Andy Park is going to start bothering the coattails of Leila Petraglia. And this might be a hard race. Now, even though they've broken the gap in their teammates, it's still a driver's championship to be won. And Park is going to have some fun. Let's see how this battle turns out. It's the fight for the lead. It's teammates. It's civil war. Andy Park now on corner exit through Graham Hill Bend. Slipstreaming. 2/10 the difference. Into the left-hander. Layla, not the best of entries. Will it matter on exit? Has to hold off in the slipstream. The battle for P3 also commencing. Van Dorn and Conti behind these two. And actually, you know what? It may have to wait a little bit because Conti making a mistake on the outside of Surtees. And luckily, got back going. There are some yellow flags coming in the form of Felipe just around the penultimate corner. But has gotten going crucially, so the leaders will not be meeting them as soon as they want to. Of course, these two want some clear air as much as possible, really break away, and I think that's when we're going to see some proper racing. But I think Layla's still pushing hard, realizing that there is a chance that she might lose out her lead. We're on board with Regan Milana. The number 95 chases down Eamon Espeir. And a great run from Regan. will take it down the inside. Is there a chance for a nose to go up? It's not. So he'll shuffle back in through Clark Curve. Around this time by on exit on the straight now. Once again, Andy Park will actually take it to the pits, and he misses his pit box. That is not what you want to see. So that may potentially lose some time to himself and Layla. As we now see Regan. Is there a move up the inside? Not yet. Just not a chance this time around. But still a close fight. It's now turned into your battle for fourth. Of course, both of these drivers still have to come in at some point. But so far, it's Andy Park, Alexander, Mark Crawford, Evan Steinberg, Daniel Taberner, and Felipe Letti already made their pit stops in this race. So as this fight continues, Conti trying to get back close of the time that he lost going wide off circuit and chasing down the Flying Dutchman, Mike Van Dorn, one of your most winningest champions in CMRSC. He's a 5-time champion for a reason. And looking for glory. He's currently in P2, and he wants to start to extend this gap to try to get going in the gravel, bringing out some local yellows as Leonardo. P19 trying to shake it off and get back going. Remember, still a second race to get going. So lots of work to do for these drivers to get back going. But 18 minutes left to go in this one, and 13 minutes left as we have Layla entering into the pit box now. So her race is now going to be against Andy Park. And oh, Andy finding him on the corner exit of Sterling's off the circuit. That may be trouble. Felipe also off the circuit. Has to crucially watch the rejoin. And you're going to see there Andy Park racing down the front straight. Is it enough to take the lead of the Grand Prix? I don't think so. Layla is firmly ahead. Your net race leader, Layla Petraglia. And crucially, Andy Park pushed with all his might, not able to get the overcut, or maybe I should say the undercut, to work out as he pitted first and tried to get the move done. But still, 17 minutes left to go and lots of racing left, and maybe there might be a chance as the gap is 3.3. We saw how close Andy did get to the rear end of Layla. We also have this fight here, Emmanuel chasing down for P6 against Joshua Steinberg. Joshua doing a great job out here. Keeping it up, keeping the momentum up, holding off this position. Joshua still needs to make a pit stop, as well as Emmanuel, but nose to tail around this end here, and Emmanuel has to back off. Nothing can be done for that move. And now, through clearways into Clark Curve, is there a chance that Emmanuel could get going here? Maybe a little bit of lag coming from the Argentine, as now he's trying to find the inside. A great run here on Brabham Straight, looking for a move into Paddock Hill Bend. Is there a chance? Joshua will have to hold the outside, and respectable racing room is met with each other. They're still close in racing, but Joshua with the outside line able to hold on. Switching topics and gears to this fight here. Regan and Eamon Espear still close together, still giving us a show. This is true MX-5 racing. Mistakes, they can be a bit prone in these cars. They're not the easiest to hold on to when you're pushing with all your might. But it will give us some close racing nonetheless. And now Eamon, he's holding on to third. Is there a chance that Regan could snipe a position? Has the run around the outside. It's a very brave move. Eamon will push him to the white line on the outside. Will it matter? Regan switches to the inside. Now Eamon will cover off the block. He'll line it up to the left-hander of Sterling's. He'll get back going. Position still the same, but Regan 2/10 behind. He wants to get a move done right away, but our pit stop's gonna come up for these two. Not yet. They both stay out. And it's such a fantastic race as Conti will enter into the box. Now Regan into Paddock Hill Bend. It's just like we saw with last lap with Emmanuel and Joshua. But this time around, the inside line will work. Regan Milana's got it done. But Eamon will still fight. Tried to look to the inside line. Realized he was not close enough. Will have to let go of the move. A Superman move there from Regan Milana and the number 95. He'll be flashing his headlights and screaming ka-chow to that one. What a race this is for these positions. It's still not quite over. Lots of action left to go with just under 15 minutes. We're 14 minutes left to go in this race, and we still have round 2 of the championship to come up. Awesome racing and 34 concurrent viewers. Thank you so much for tuning in to one of the fastest growing sim racing channels on YouTube and one of the best to watch this kind of racing. And where is the pit limiter? That's a good question, because I don't even know off the top of my head. It's been quite a while since I've lapped around here. I would say just before you make the kind of like the chicane. I think there's a white line, but I can't remember. And Regan trouble, he's off! Cutting his momentum. If I was Regan, maybe I might dive into the pits now, cover off an attempt that Eamon has for a pit stop. And that is exactly what he's going to do. And actually, we might find out here. So it looks like the line might be just at the left-hander of the chicane to travel in. So Regan crucially needs a good pit stop here. A lot of damage on his car, but I don't think he's going to fix it. Not worth the time. So Eamon P2, Mike Van Doren P1. They both still have to make a pit stop. And then we shuffle up to Cody Lawrence, who also still needs to make a pit stop. Tavar Clark in the Mercedes-inspired livery. He's got a bit of lap traffic to allow to go through. And one of them is Eamon Espeir. But still fun racing left to go in this one, and we're watching out for a couple of battles here. Mike Van Doren, of course, battling with Iris Conti, and that could be your fight for P5 in a moment. So here is P2, and P1 may have to watch some yellow flags. It's Danny Nasseir, and he'll be watching Mike Van Doren coming up fast here. And they'll be letting him through as Van Doren is absolutely whipping that Red Bull-inspired MX-5. He still needs to make a pit stop as Tavar Trouble running off the circuit. Behind him, Cody Lawrence. But this is, of course, 3 drivers who still need to box very soon. They have 6 minutes and 35 seconds. Eamon's going to jump in to cover off that attempt of a move from Regan Milana. Found the line, now in the box. And he's missed the box. He's reversing backwards. That's going to cost him some time. So we watch Regan Milana coming around 2 corners to complete. And both Andy Park, Layla gonna pass by. And I think that moment for Andy Park that ran wide as Layla was serving her pit stop, was that the nail in the coffin for a race win? Done and dusted. We'll see. On pit exit, there's Eamon, and Regan is firmly ahead, so that mistake has costed him an Oleg between the 2 drivers. Also, he's made a pit stop. He's in this fight for P6. And now we're just left with 2 drivers up at the top. Leonardo still has to make a pit stop as well sometime, as well as Tavar Clark. But 2 drivers to eagerly watch out for. I know Cody Lawrence and Mike Van Dorn, they started, well, for Mike, he started back in P9, so he wants some clear air to try to gain some positions over the course of the lap. So once he does come in, he'll be able to jump a handful of drivers. As for Cody Lawrence, the incident that happened between himself and Andy Park, well reviewed, even if it is a penalty to Park, it's not going to matter in the case of Lawrence's race. So he's forced to stay out wide and stay out on track for the long run. So we're going to see how this race plays out, and if there is a potential chance for any of these 2 to potentially fight on the podium. We know P1 and P2 are kind of sorted out here with Layla and Andy, but we don't know that P3 spot. It was supposed to be Van Dorn and Conti, but we'll see. We'll see how it turns out. But what a wonderful race this is. If it stays like this, of course, once we do get those pit stops in, Layla and Andy sharing the front row, that would be a very entertaining fight as we head to Paddock Hill Bend for round 2 of the championship. But in our first ever MX-5 series, it's been a great run, as we did have, still have local yellows. The Jamaican, Tavar Clark, he makes his return. A little bit rusty, maybe. It has been a while since he's picked up the sim racing gloves and got back racing. But still happy to see him back. Tavar has been an amazing driver to watch around. Keep an eye on him very, very soon, once he gets his feet wet more with some more races. Here comes your race leader, very close to the wall on the inside, hustling into his pit box. And he needs now a very clean stop. Cody Lawrence is also going to follow behind him. And hopefully nobody can get any sort of penalty. Oh, and Van Dorn will actually miss his pit box. Comes down to Lawrence here. Does he make his box? Yes, he does. Game on. So here are your leaders. Retaking back, Layla is P1 once again. Park will go up to P2. And now the fight for third. Conti now on the front straight. Van Dorn, he's out on track. He's trying to move fast out of pit exit. And we look at it now. Is it enough? Into turn 1. Yes! Conti will get third. Van Dorn will settle for fourth. On now, Regan will be able to jump Cody Lawrence, but he's done a spectacular job of jumping both Oleg and Eamon Espeir. And the race is truly on. Muhammad on the outside, letting through Regan Milano. Will have to let through Cody Lawrence in a moment. But this is it. This is true. Game on. And look at the action in the background there. Some of lap traffic trying to come around. There's Muhammad. Just want to stay out of this battle. But this is your fight for P5. Your battle for P3 up the road. Half a tenth the difference between these two. But it's Conti on the podium as it stands. Van Dorn, though, fresh tires. He's going to have those opening laps just to himself to really push this car with all its might in this MX-5. And also, there's a bit of trouble. Contact was made. Eamon and Oleg, trouble between each other. I don't know whose fault that was between the two. But they get back going together. Action coming down to the final wire here. The battle for the lead is 2.7 as well. Quite a lot of battles. Regan Milano is going to have a tall order to fight against a two-time world champion. As well as Conti will have to fight against a 5-time champion. Who do you want to fight here in this race? This is going to be an awesome conclusion, because the longer that Conti defends, it's going to bring Regan Milano and Cody Lawrence into this fight. It's only 4.2 seconds. A little bit of a drift, a mistake there, though, from Mike Van Dorn. Getting all out of shape as he heads into Graham Hill Bend. And that might be a second loss. It's half a second loss from him in that moment. Cody Lawrence, however, has an opportunity. He'll stay back. Line it up here in the yellow Marlboro vehicle. On the run, watching the Rusty's medicated bumper ointment on the back. Andy Park gets a 10-second time penalty for cutting the circuit. Track limits not been nice to Park. And Cody Lawrence trying to fight now for 5th, round the outside, just able to inch ahead. Regan's not going to let it slide. He'll try to fight back. Still has an opportunity, but it's going to be very difficult this time by Cody. Has he got the door completely closed? Very much so. Lawrence, what a lunge on the outside. Gets it done. He's in 5th. He still has 4 minutes left to go to defend, but Park, 10-second time penalty. Now, here's the positive part. He's 12 seconds ahead of Conti, so it's not even going to matter, but he still has another time penalty, a potential second time penalty. 10 seconds if the contact between himself and Cody Lawrence was deemed his fault. He could lose the podium. We'll find out. There's so much to talk about by the end of this race, and we still have round 2. Folks, don't go anywhere. If you're just tuning into the stream, it's been an amazing round 1, but round 2 of racing is going to come up in about 5 minutes time, 10 minutes time. You don't want to go anywhere for it. If you're loving the action, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button. We are on course for 3,000 subscribers. It would mean the world if you can. Like the stream if you haven't already, and you can use code Thrustmaster. Use on Thrustmaster websites code CMRSC on checkout to save yourself 15%. Thank you to Thrustmaster for allowing us into your partnership program. All proceeds go right to the league. And into the final stages here. Andy Park now realizing the race win is gone from that 10-second time penalty. So I think he's just going to be focusing on making sure Layla gets across the line to finish P1, marking her second race victory in CMRSC. We also have a bit of a fight back here. Daniel Taberner getting chased down by Evan Steinberg. And we also have Alexander just up ahead. Muhammad will have to let through. Losing the rear end, though. Trouble in the gravel. And that is one way to let through 2 cars in 1 corner. So no worry now for Evan Steinberg or Daniel Taberner as they now fight to the end. But this fight here still heating up. Mike Van Dorn back up. 6/10 the difference. And what is the chances that Van Dorn can get on the podium after starting P9? That's the real question we're asking here. Trouble on the circuit. I think that was just corner exit from Pilgrim's Rise. And I believe that might have been Muhammad trying to go through. But still, this fight gets closer. Now, 4/10. And up the road, that's Gabrielle Martins. It's going to be lap traffic for these two to get through. A little bit of a slide there. Not going to help. Martin is going to get right out the way. Respectful to do that very early on, but does not want to get anywhere near this fight for 3rd, knowing how serious it is. Lawrence, you just saw him in the background. Really trying to chase down here. Sliding that car even. Pushing it to all his might. Trying to get close. So we'll find out if there is a potential chance that he can join this fight here. But with a minute now officially left to go, we are on the final lap of the race. There's no extra lap from this point here. Layla and Andy coming home to try to finish P1 and P2 together, but it's the fight for P3 that really is starting to spark up as Conti defends. Van Dorn will have to take it round the outside. Door is shut, but the inside line, a potential chance. Contact is made between the two, and Van Dorn has been sent up to 3rd. Wow! A little bit of door banging. I don't know if Conti may have tried to turn in a bit earlier than he wanted to. Regardless, though, it shuffled Van Dorn up to third. And with 6/10, can Conti pull it back? In this one, real proper door-to-door racing here in the final stages of this race. It was such a weird kind of bump and trouble up the road. I think that's Danny Nasseir and Felipe, both drivers desperately trying to get out the way. They do, and here comes Cody Lawrence through all of them. Wow, so much traffic to the end, but up front, Layla Petraglia has shut up the haters, coming to the front straight, and she will win round 1 of the MX-5 Cup Championship. Layla with victory. Andy Park second. It's an Alpha Tail 1 and 2, and Mike Van Dorn around the final corner will take over the podium and get third position. What a race this was. Round 2 is going to come up in just a few minutes time. You don't want to go away for it. Cody Lawrence will finish 5th, Conti 4th. Of course, all the incidents will be reviewed at the end of this one. At the line here, Eamon Esper, Oleg, and Eamon will finish 7th. There's a lot of argy-bargy to the end there. Felipe also getting a time penalty as they all finish to the line. Up front here, Joshua Steinberg will not be able to finish ahead of Emmanuel. And Emmanuel will finish ahead Joshua Steinberg. A great showcase nonetheless, though. And they'll take it over. But Layla, P1, what a performance from her. And it's only round 1, race 2, round 2. It's all coming up right about now. You don't want to go away for it, but we're going to get started with interviews right away. Very, very fun racing. We're also going to have a review of all the action after both races are complete. So, review will go down after race 2. But we classify race 1 as it is here. And we're going to talk to our top 3 as we get started. We're going to have a 5-minute intermission before we get into race number 2. It's going to be the same order. As you finish in, that's where you're going to start. It's another 30-minute event. Feel free to take it into the pits. And we're going to get that one started very soon. So, an incredible race 1 performance. And that is your race winner. Now a 2-time winner here in CMRSC. Layla getting it done, Miss Midnight Bloom. Park P2. Park and Chad, I will note, already apologizing for the incident right away. Great sportsmanship there. All right, let's get started with interviews. All right, we have a bit of time before we get started with round 2. We're going to get through with interviews right about now, and we're going to talk to someone who I know is going to be very happy because she did every single thing correct. Layla, Miss Midnight Bloom, a race winner once again in CMRSC. It looks like the UK may be a perfect set to snag some race wins. How does that feel?
I told you when you announced it, MX-5, I'm gonna win, and here I am. I announced it. Oh, this was great. This was the most clean race I ever had. Wow. And the racing into the first couple of laps, it was amazing. I expected Eddie to actually undercut me, but I actually overcut him by about 3 seconds, so I'm pretty happy about the pit stop. And yeah, fun race.
A very fun race. You were in P1, but even though your teammate was behind you, Andy still gave you a bit of a run for your money. How was that one, fighting against Andy Park?
I mean, I nothing against him. I kind of have the race pace on him. So obviously he's the best. He's the best, honestly. He's the best team I could have hoped for this championship. He looked through my data before the race in the last couple of days. I couldn't really practice before the race beforehand, but I guess I didn't really need it. But yeah, Andy, love you, man. Love you.
You are leading the championship. Round 1 complete. You head into round 2. What's the game plan?
Win. Go fast.
Let's see
Win
if
and
you
go
can
fast.
sweep it.
That's all.
Let's see if you can sweep Brands Hatch. Congratulations and good luck for race number 2. That's Layla, your race winner. We now talk to P2 teammates. Andy Park, your race winner 2 weeks ago, still finishing it up here. Andy, a moment maybe to forget at the start of this race, but still held it down, stayed close to Layla throughout that one. Andy Park, you're P2. How was that one?
10 seconds added for track limits, and probably another 20 seconds for taking out Cody, so I don't know if I'm gonna be P2 for very long. But I'm happy that Layla could at least capitalize. I don't have much comments, sorry.
That's all okay. Heading into race 2, wish you the best of luck. It's still a new blank slate to see if you can pull it back and get some strong results out here.
Yeah, thank you, man. Till the next one.
Till the next one, indeed, for Andy Park. Good luck to him. P3, however, this is a driver to really talk about. After starting just inside the top 10, finds himself P3 at the end, maybe even a P2 come the end of the race results officially stated. But on track, it's 3rd for you, Mike Van Doren. How does that feel? That was a great drive from you.
I mean, yeah, P9 to P3, not bad. Yeah, no, I mean, the start was good. And then I tactically gave both Reagan, I think it was Reagan, and Evan a push on the straight. So they were side by side going into the corner, and then they, well, I mean, you know what happened. They took each other out, so basically gifted me the P3 position, and then nearly threw it because I missed my pit box. That happens. But yeah, luckily able to get it back. And, yeah, I mean, I'm satisfied with the results, but not satisfied with my pace. That's basically how it is going today. But I'll make the most of it.
Yeah, that's another thing to know. Yeah, you're starting P3, you're on the 2nd row, heading into Paddock Hill Bend. You got teammates in front of you that are probably going to work together to try to build a wall in front of any other team that tries to step in their way at P1. What's the game plan looking like? Not trying to leak too many details, but what are you thinking about heading into this race too?
I mean, yeah, just drive and try not to crash, I guess. I don't know. Maybe I can sneak a position at the start and hold them up from there, but I'll have to see how it goes.
Best of luck, Mike. You're starting in a way better position, so if you can go from 9th to 3rd, from 3rd, I think you're gonna do. I think you're gonna do wonders around here. So good luck out there, and let's see what you can do.
Yeah, we'll see.
That's your top 3. We get onto the grid right now. The order is going to be the exact same where you finish that. And it's the exact same rule set. Mandatory tire change. Everything the exact same as what you just raced in. Let's have some fun out there. Best of luck. If you did not finish the race, you'll be starting from the back. Other than that, good luck. This is going to be a fun race out here. Fun race indeed. Drivers on grid. Let's take a look at that grid while we're at it. So, it's Layla who's going to start P1. Looking for the broom to sweep it out here. Park will start P2. Mike Van Doren, P3. Eros Conti, P4. Cody Lawrence, P5. Let's hope Cody can have a way stronger result out here. It's a great comeback as well. Riga Milano will start in P6. Eamon Espeir, P7. Maybe a bit of a race to forget in the first one. Let's see if we can try to focus on here for race number 2, round 2. Oleg will start next up. Followed by that, Alexander Ferrero, Daniel Taverner, Evan Steinberg. Then we get to Emmanuel Joshua. Joshua, a great shout out to him. A great drive in that first round. Let's see what he can do in this one. Tiago served a qualifying ban in the first one. He's fine where he is now, basically starting in the middle. Mark Crawford, Leonardo, Richard, Gabriel, Danny Nasseir, Mohammed, Tavar, Felipe, Gabriel Costa. Game on. It's race number 2. And the crowd is absolutely on fire for this one as we sound out the lights for round number 2. It's round 2. It's the second race here at Brands Hatch, the final race of the evening. Let's sound it out. Let's get underway. Lights on your screen. It's 4 lights on the board for round number 2 of the championship. We go racing. Joshua Steinberg, we're going to drive through penalty for jumping the start. Layla holds on to the lead. Andy Park, P2. Mike Van Doren, P3, trying to hold on as they all start the single file. They learned their lesson in the first race, or are they going to try something new? Van Doren will try to go down the inside as Conti round the outside, looking for a move, but the door is very much shut there. Into Graham Hill Bend. Single file between all of them. A little argy-bargy towards the rear pack. Little doors bumping here and there. Conti will go down the inside of Cody Lawrence. Eamon Espeir will try to find himself doing the exact same thing. Now they head down through Surtees, now into Pilgrim's Drop. Up at the front, it's still Layla in the lead in this first one. Eamon will try looking it down the inside. Cannot get it done. Pit window now officially open. And they all kind of single file and shuffle their way through. But now Layla, heart in her mouth now, has a big pack of cars behind as Riga Milano very tight down the inside. Oh, is it a move that can be completed? Is Eamon's been sent onto the grass. He's gonna dive it right back. Oh, Regan looked like he turned in way too early there. Thought that Eamon was gonna back off, but Eamon Espeir is a warrior, and I don't think that's his fault whatsoever. But one car off the circuit. Another one, Felipe in the same section, but up at the front, Andy Park takes the lead of the British Grand Prix. Was it positions that they swap between each other? I'm not too sure. Well, one thing's for sure, top 4 together. As Layla tried to find a move down the inside, there was no room there. Cody Lawrence firmly back in this fight here. And we'll see what he can do. Remember, we only lost him in the early stages of that first race, so now we're into round 2. We'll hopefully see if this is enough. Joshua's taken his drive-through, so he's sorted. Doesn't have to worry about that for the rest of the race. Still needs to come in, though, for his mandatory tire change. I wonder if it was strategic, if Layla potentially let through Andy Park to try to get some valuable points if there is a penalty looming. Well, you might want to get some big positions out here. And if P1, if you can do P1, well, that is what it's worth. Conti has a lot of work to do to defend this man here, Eamon Espeir. First of all, fighting a 2-time champion. Now Eamon will kind of do the same thing that Regan did to him. Down the inside. Is it enough to hold on to the position? Not quite. Now Eamon can't do the same thing Regan did, as they both very safely go through. Oleg behind. Look at this fight here. Taverner will go down the inside. Can he take advantage of Eamon up the road? He cannot. He'll slide right in between Taverner and Conti. Also, we see Alexander trying to get a piece of this action here. Could it be 4 wide? As you see the Williams of Alexander trying to get a great run here. It is basically 4 wide as they head into 1. Trying to find the best of angles there on the exit there. I did see a little bit of a hip check that Conti took pretty harsh, but didn't get sent into the gravel, so he's still fine. What a great bit of action there. Now into Graham Hill Bend. It's a great start for this round 2. A lot more cleaner than round 1, that's for sure, but it's going to get dicey. These drivers have made a lot of positions work early on in the last race, and now with that testing under their feet, they're going to use race 2 and push with all their might. Cody Lawrence now down the inside. Nope, backs off. Looking for a better spot to get it done. A spot that he won't lose that much time. Mike Van Doorn would love to get back-to-back on the podium, maybe even higher. But Cody Lawrence will try to fight back here. A champion in CMRSC, a champion in Formula Trout. No stranger to the top step. Is the remove down the inside, patiently waiting behind, biding his time, watching what Van Doorn does, taking some notes on him. But the question is, when you put the move, when do you do it? Because time is of the essence. There's 25 minutes left to go, but it's the gap you got to focus on that Layla's already building. It's 1.5, and Cody wants to get a hustle up on the Flying Dutchman. Can Lawrence do it? In the paddock. No, not this time. But pressure is on Van Doorn. Tall order to defend. He'll defend it on the inside. Lawrence will go the long way around. Beautiful work. Can there be a switchback? Cody looks for it. Door is open. No chance that time. Into Graham Hill. Is there a chance? No, we won't take it. Van Doorn still holding on to third, and the gap up ahead up to 1.7. And Lawrence playing a lot more aggressive now. Mike has gone from offense to defense here, making sure that Lawrence does not get past whatsoever. But now, there's a great chance here for a move. Is there? We'll see. Down the inside. Doesn't. Backs off of it that time by. We also saw there on the split screen, Oleg side by side with Alexander Ferrero. And that's your fight for P7. Down the back, Emmanuel trying to fight off against Richard Nevis. No, can't be done there either. We'll still have a split screen bit of action to watch both of these fights. Cody Lawrence still hustling down into the grass though. Alexander, he will lose out that position, and that won't work out for him. So, Conti up to 8. He'll now chase Oleg. Here comes Lawrence now. Big chance, way closer. Van Doorn covers the inside. Park with the fastest lap of the race. He'll take it to the outside. Into Paddock Hill Bend. Who's the first of the late breakers? Van Doorn will try to hold on. Lawrence even cut the grass for the moment. That's how wide he's pushing this MX-5. It's contact between them, but a save from Van Doorn will hold it on to P3. A very close fight between them. No stranger to making contact. What a fight. Lawrence, though, still has more work to do, but the gap still opening up even more. It's 3.5 the difference. Mike Van Doorn trying to hold on desperately to this one here. Lawrence continuing to put down more and more pressure. Little touch on the grass for both of them, but the slipstream is very much on. Van Doorn will hug the inside. Lawrence is forced around the outside. Can he clear him into Hawthorne Bend? Not this time, so we'll have to ride it around the outside. Is there a switchback potentially? There is not. But now, on to the next part. Westfield Bend into the right-hander through Dingledale this time by. Van Doorn still holds on. Cut through the apex, set yourself up for Sterling's. Lawrence holding on to this fight into the left-hander. Way better run this time. I think you gotta make the move because Eamon right behind, followed by Daniel Tabiner, and Lawrence knows it. He sees the cars behind, has to make a move. He goes around the outside. Van Doorn will try to squeeze him as much as he can. He will. Lawrence, however, still a chance. Eamon's gonna want to cheer on this fight to keep going. And Lawrence, another chance, a second second opportunity to get it around the outside. Can he do it? A switchback, maybe. A little slide there from Van Doren. He covers the inside. Cody Lawrence on the outside. He'll have to try to make the long way work. It's contact between them as Mike Van Doren is refusing to let Lawrence pass. It's now become a 4-car battle because of it. Van Doren has now led a 5.4 seconds to P2. Cody Lawrence has a lot of work. Now he's got company behind. The two-time champion, Eamon Espeir, meeting a two-time champion, Cody Lawrence. What an amazing race this is. 20 minutes left to go. And we hope you're enjoying the action in chat. This is what CMRC is all about. Absolutely spectacular racing here. And it's still not quite over. Still a big chance. Cody Lawrence now another chance through Dingledell. Can he switch it to the inside here? Big pressure to Mike Van Doren. Mike is holding on. Now into Sterling's. A little slide, kind of missing the apex. Cody Lawrence kind of follows his line as well. You also watch the battle right behind them. As now, Cody Lawrence needs the inside at this point. The outside, it's so difficult. He'll try now. Maybe third time's the charm to get the move done. Tavener trying to find a move on the inside. Mike Van Doren will hug the inside here. Lawrence around the outside. Can they hold on? Van Doren squeezes him to the curb, but I think this time Lawrence, he does so. Yes, he gets the move done through Paddock Hill Bend. He'll take the inside line. He'll get the move done. Cody Lawrence, ladies and gentlemen, a fantastic drive. It's not over yet because he's got to break away, and Mike Van Doren is going to want to lunge this one down the inside. In the back, Tavener got the move done on Eamon Espeir, who was following up on this fight. Could not get it done. Eamon, meanwhile, trying to go for a move on Tavener. Cannot get it this time by. A little bit alongside each other. Not quite enough for him. We'll still go on board with them, but we watch the fight in front. Mike Van Doren will take it to the outside, as well as Eamon. Both of them can't get it done. The outside is just way too difficult to get the move done. But Lawrence wants to break away, but the gap is 3/10. And Van Doren is going to be forcing himself down the inside whenever and wherever he can. And behind them, Eamon Espeir fighting against Tavener. Cody Lawrence off the circuit, regains back, loses third, and now Tavener has an opportunity, takes it as well as Eamon. Lawrence, did you blink on the apex? Loses out 3 positions in one straightaway, and Lawrence needs to get back going. Eamon defends him to the outside, knowing that I don't want to fight against this guy. Keep him behind for all we care about. Oh, it's contact. Eamon pushed him a little bit too much. Eamon Espeir squeezed him all the way to the right, making contact. Cody may be throwing up his hands like, dude, what the hell? I thought we were having some close racing between each other. Eamon's like, nope, this door is shut. It will stay shut. I don't care if I miss the apex. That is true racing. You don't see that from the legends, Ayrton Senna. You don't see them from the likes of Michael Schumacher. Even a modern day Max Verstappen will not give you any sort of room. Cody Lawrence, he thought that there was some action to play with, like he was with Mike Van Doren, but Eamon said, no sir, this is MX-5s, I will take what I can get. And that's exactly what he's done. Eamon's up to 5th. Now Tavener 4th, Van Doren 3rd. There's still a lot of time left to go with this one. We'll switch gears. We'll watch something new because Leonardo trying to chase down for P17 against Felipe. P18 on the line between the two drivers here. But don't you worry, we still have a split screen to watch out for up here. Leonardo will take it down the inside, but a contact was made between each other, looking to the outside of Paddock Hill Bend, trying to get the better line to line it up as we head into Pilgrim's Rise. Now through Druids, Leonardo's going to dive it down the inside, and he's going to gladly take that move done and dusted. A bit of contact back between the two. Great fighting between each other. Meanwhile, Layla enters pit road. That's from P2. So she's got to hope whatever she's done so far, she's done it right. Lawrence back in this fight. This top 4 drivers not leaving each other. But now Van Dorn has another driver to deal with. It's the man at home wanting the podium. Daniel Taberner. We haven't seen too much of Taberner in quite a while. To see him back and on home soil, he's going to want to give this home crowd something to talk about for a long time. But he's got some work to do. He's surrounded by 9 championships between these guys. Mike at 5, Eamon at 2, Cody at 2. A lot of pressure for one Daniel Taberner. We'll find out how he can fare against the most winningest champion in CMRSC. You don't get 5 championships for nothing. And Taberner has seen the likes of Van Dorn's rise. But can he put down some pressure after being out a bit of a hiatus? It's unknown information for Van Dorn of what this guy is truly capable of in 2026. You look back for the moment there, Eamon. He's firmly ahead of Cody Lawrence. A bit behind in this battle here. Now Taberner has an opportunity to take it inside or outside. He's waiting very late. Up the road, Layla coming out on track. That was a very long stop for Layla. She's back going, but now she's a lapped car to this battle here. She'll have to get right on the brakes. Taberner will take it down the inside, however. Can he get the move? He does get the move. I think they were all spooked at Layla's pit exit. Now into the left-hander. Eamon trying to go through on Daniel Taberner. Side by side, as now Mike has to defend 2 cars, and Eamon is gonna watch out. He'll look for 3rd now. This may be your battle that's now gone up to 2nd. No clue what's gone wrong for Layla, but she is down and out for the time being. And now Eamon has a chance to get right back up on the inside of Daniel Taberner. Into the right-hander of Hawthorne Bend. Lawrence in the background, touching the grass on the outside, still watching that fight ahead. A great 3-way battle now, which very well is probably P2 in this race, but we'll see. Maybe the long pit stop was for a reason for Layla. After all, we haven't had this close racing in round 1 and round 2, giving us a spectacle out here. Next week, we head to Mosport Park. That's going to be this racing times 1,000. It's going to be great! Contact is made there! Taberner makes contact with Eamon Espear. Did he put a nose up on the inside? Regardless, they both enter pit lane. It ends in fireworks. More cars come in. Did Taberner try to find some space on the inside? It was so close racing between the 2. Now the rule is, of course, they have to make sure your front axle is next to your rear axle in order for the position to be considered a proper... Oh, wow, trouble there. In order for the move to be legal. However, I don't think it looked like that. I think Taberner just tried to find the move on the inside, but Eamon, the space wasn't really there, so I don't know how to feel about that one. Espear, though, in the pits, taking a bit, though, to get this one going. He has now gotten going. But because of that incident, he's been sent backwards. That is such a weird incident there. We didn't get the best of angles. Nonetheless, Cody Lawrence finding himself up to 2nd. Of course, not pitting with that group. So does Cody Lawrence stay out and go for another long run? Layla, however, Andy Park into the pits. Layla, I don't know what went wrong for her. She's down in 17th. And she's now getting through. There is Park into the pits. There is now Cody Lawrence, who will inherit P1 in this race. But a solid, what was that? Maybe a solid 15 minutes of that podium fight. Absolutely insane. A great race. A great one. One of my favorite races of 2026 so far. And we still have quite a bit of racing left to go. 11 minutes. And we are still looking out for the rest of the pack below. Here comes Oleg Nevis. Battle for 7th. Yes. Canadian Grand Prix. Mosport Park. A very wide circuit. Lots of runoff as well. It's going to be a great one to watch out for as Nevis now trying to find a move. Oleg spitting out some grass there under the MX-5. All these drivers in the same car, in the same setup. It's fixed setup racing. This is what you get. You get drivers from all different skill levels, giving it a chance where setup knowledge does not require here to be fast. You just got to know how to drive. But it has been such an entertaining bout. And still not over yet. Nevis on the rear. Looking for a move. Felipe, 10-second time penalty for cutting the circuit. And Nevis not able to find a way. Oleg will hold on to that move of 6th. And now to the inside once again. Door shut. No chance even to take advantage there. Now to Sheens. And still just nose to tail up the road. You see Evan Steinberg coming up soon. He is still yet to make his pit stop. And in fact, Steinberg is the only driver between these guys who have not made a pit stop yet. So something going wrong for him early on in this race. Not allowing him any chance to come in. So he's just going to be happy probably to just stay out for the time being. But here comes Nevis. Now to the outside. Sweep it in. How to kill Ben. Just a perfect spot to get the over-under. Oh, maybe a bit of contact between the two. Hard on the brakes. A lot of them trying to defend as late as possible. And still very close between each other. More and more contact between them. Alex still up the road, still ahead. Layla, 10-second time penalty for cutting the circuit. Layla's day goes bad to worse. She's not even to the points to begin with. But of course, something went wrong for her. Chad is saying Steinberg may have pit after lap 1. Might be the case. But actually, I'm seeing on... If it was after lap 1, then his pit stop wouldn't have counted because the pit box opens a little bit ahead. So, well, on our database, we can tell that he has not made a pit stop. So far, it's Cody Lawrence, Evan Steinberg, and that is it. Left to pit. So, if he doesn't get disqualified and he does finish the race, then maybe he is fine. And it's just our timing screen's not up to date. We'll find out. At the moment, he sits 5th. It looks like he is going to stay out for the long run. So it's still Lawrence left to come in. Gap is 22 seconds from himself and Andy Park. But is that enough to hold on to P1? It's going to be a great podium fight. That's for sure. Mike Van Dorn, Daniel Taberner, both of them together. We also have Thiago Ravaz and the Coca-Cola machine chasing down Eros Kantia, a firm contender. Throughout that first race and just the second race, not going right for him. And does Lawrence come in this lap? Yes, he does. So Cody Lawrence, in for his pit stop, needs to nail the box perfectly. They'll probably be turning on that ABS just to be safe. Here's Park. Round out the final corner. Is there a gap that Cody Lawrence can fight in this final 5 minutes of this race? Doesn't look like it. It's going to be tough. It may have to be the fight for second. Yes, it is. He comes out of pits. Van Dorn sees him. Pit exit. There he is. He'll be very slow on cold tires. Van Dorn will be coming in with the heat. It's your battle now for second with 6 minutes left to go here for this race. So here we go. Chat saying I put on lap 2. So it's not saying it on our side, but well, that's the lucky part about reviewing the race. If we do see that there was a pit stop that was made for you, then well, there's no reason to give you any sort of penalty because you'll be fine for the race. But pit window is now officially closed, so it does look like it's all drivers who have come in. And Park gets a 10-second time penalty for cutting the circuit. And ladies and gentlemen, a gap that is 13 seconds is essentially 3 seconds. Van Dorn could potentially have a chance at a race win. And Park just needs to start pushing. Speaking of pushing, a little bit of door-to-door action. Bump drafting even. Now it's 12 seconds. That is insane. Andy Park, 10-second time penalty. Whoa! Even more contact. Does Oleg hold on? Oleg does. Almost as if you got pushed out the way there by Nevis. And Regan will take advantage. As all that goes down, Mike Van Dorn, he's lost out of P2. Now this fight is on. Cody Lawrence in second. Once again. And yes, you can pit any lap from this point, Evan. You're free to pit whenever you want. Oh my goodness, what a race this is. We also have this fight here. Trying to find the best of angles. There we go. Milana gets through Oleg. But the real talking point, Van Dorn losing P3. Or losing P2, now P3 to Cody Lawrence. Once again, 12 seconds, almost 13 seconds to the race leader. But Andy Park has a 10-second time penalty for track limits. So that means that gap is actually 2 seconds, 2.6. So Cody Lawrence will be pushing now, as well as Mike Van Dorn, to try to get over a P2. There is your race leader, Andy Park. It's drama to the finale of this second round. Up the road for Lawrence, it's Felipe. Lap traffic, 13 seconds now, 14 seconds. It's actually starting to rise as Park is really starting to push. We'll come back to it in a moment. Regan Milana with 2 minutes, 40 seconds left to go. Does not send it down the inside. But biding his time. Half a tenth. For 6th position ahead of him. As that stands, Van Dorn losing time to Cody Lawrence. It's now 1.3. Tavener 1.4 behind Van Dorn. That could be a chance that Tavener could try to fight onto the podium. And we also have this fight here. This is actually your fight for P5. There is Nevis, followed by Sensen, Milana, and Ferrero. But a very tough part in this one here. Chad is saying was with people throwing at the end of the race. I don't know. I don't know about Park's situation. That's not going to help at all. Andy Park runs off the circuit. Is that the gap gone down? 12.7. Oh, there's trouble in the back. It's Tavener. He's also off. And look at behind. Martins and that was actually kind of funny to note there. Gabriel and Felipe, both of them slowed down, realizing that that's lap traffic up ahead. You overtake him and you just gotta let through the position, so backing out right away. But look at the gap, it's 9, it's 10.5, it's bouncing around a crucial gap that could go away with another mistake like that. 4/10, and we're on the final lap of the Grand Prix. This is absolutely exciting. Cody Lawrence needs 3/10 to take victory here at Brands Hatch in the second round of the championship. I don't know if Park realizes how close this fight is. It's about a 10th. You might as well say this battle's a nose to tail. Had some yellow flags earlier, but this is drama. There's Felipe. I think he's just getting out the way from the battle for P5. 2/10 the difference. Lawrence, he's gonna know that. 1.5. Andy Park desperately pushing like it's a qualifying lap. No more mistakes. Cannot afford any. Oh, it's a little slide. Oh, it's trouble. A drift. Oh my goodness. What a slide there from Andy Park. Pushing with all his might. It's shades of 2008. Going to the line here at Interlagos, but it's Andy Park. It's 9.7 though. Andy will win it on track here. Victory for Andy Park, but Cody Lawrence, is it enough? Is it enough? We look at the time. It's still bouncing around. We'll find out. What's it gonna be? Has he done it? Has he done it? I'm not too sure. He slowed down on the line. I don't think we're gonna know now. Van Dorn will finish third. Navis fourth. Oh my goodness, we don't know who took victory there and what it's looking like. We're gonna have to wait till the final results officially come in to know our race winner. But the gap bouncing between 11 seconds and 8 seconds. I don't know what went down there. It's an absolute shocker. Just dropped here as this race comes to an end. Layla as well. I don't know what went wrong, but we are unsure if Andy Park or Cody Lawrence has taken victory in this one. Absolutely insane. What an eventful one, with round 2 coming to a conclusion. Layla will also cross the line with 10 seconds there. Well, I will say that was a very fun race to watch from that one. I will say though, we're just gonna wait till the session completes, and then we'll get the result to see who won that race. Because of that 10-second time penalty from Andy with the track limits, if that was enough, well, we'll find out in a moment's time. Regardless, we're still going to interview the top 3 as they were on track. But congratulations, that is Brands Hatch complete. Next week, we head into Canada for the Canadian Grand Prix at Mosport. That session's going to be up very shortly. We're going to start to conduct interviews once again. It's for our finishers on track. A very, very eventful race. We start off with P1. In fact, do we see P1 here? Not too sure. I think we've just lost Andy Park. I'm not too sure, but holy emotions lighting up here. Yeah, well, I'm not too sure. I want to wait till the results come in. It'll come in 5 minutes to give us the actual result. We'll move on to Cody Lawrence. We'll send you up here. Cody Lawrence, first of all, that last lap aside, this whole race, 0 break from you, 4-car battle for the podium, and you managed to able to finish on top of all of it. Cody, what a drive from you. One of the best drives I've ever seen from you. How do you feel?
I'm more proud of the first race drive, to be honest. My second race wasn't very good, I would say. Had the battle with Mike. It's always very on edge, but it's always very fun with Mike. He fights everyone very hard, and I respect that he fights everyone equally hard. So I had a couple of close moments, and once I actually made the overtake, I tripped over myself on my rev match in the last left-hander in Sector 3 and put myself in a hole to be in that 4-car fight. But I put in about as much fuel as I could to extend all the way to the end of the pit window, because I knew the overcut was the way and the tires had 0 fall off. So I just needed to be in clean air and run my pace, and my pace was very strong once I had clean track available to me, and that's what enabled me to get the overcut, pull off become the winner of that 4-car fight. So I wouldn't say I'm incredibly proud of my second race drive, because mistakes I made, but yeah, I mean, pace was very strong.
I will say the respectful racing between yourself and Mike in that stage as well, very, very incredible. I mean, you got to give a shout out there to Mike. Great racing between you two. But then we come to the end, a whole different ball game. You see the time penalty from Andy Park, 10 seconds, and you realize that 12-second gap has just turned into a 2-second gap with about 2 minutes left to go in the race. What was your feeling? What was the thought process, the reaction to that, and how did it transpire until the checkered flag?
I was shocked I was even in the fight in the end. I thought with that kind of gap, it was just get P2, run my pace, get to the end. But as soon as I saw that 10-second penalty, I'm like, okay, I'm within a couple seconds, but it's still difficult to make 2 seconds. And then I saw Andy had a 40.8 on the second last lap. It's like, okay, I'm within a second. The car is, even if the deg is basically nothing, I have the best tires. I have no fuel in the car, essentially. And I just pushed as hard as I could, did 5 straight quali laps, and was able to just get within the 10-second. So, again, not my finest drive in my book, but I'm also my own harshest critic. So, make it that what you will. I did everything I could. Just things I could have done better.
Hey, one thing's for sure, we're very happy to see you back here for MX-5. Is there a good chance we could see you for the next couple rounds?
Totally depends on stuff outside of sim racing, so we'll see. I've got some personal stuff going on, just taking that as first priority, and we'll see what happens. If I can make it, I can make it. If I can't, I can't. Simple as. It's a 50-50. Either I make it or I don't.
Very happy to see you nonetheless for this one here, and love seeing you racing with us. Congratulations on that one. We'll figure it out in about a minute and a half for sure where you do finish, but congratulations nonetheless for an amazing drive.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Next up, now once again, of course, I don't think we have Andy Park with us here on the channel, so we're gonna switch gears and talk to our man who finishes P3. Maybe a result can change for him. We'll find out. But Mike Van Doorn, P3 once again on track. Not too shabby considering this time around it was a bigger war, and it was all about just maybe racing more with your mirrors than watching ahead. How was that one?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that was so much fun. I know what I can expect from Cody, and I decided to battle him as hard as I could because I knew that was the only chance I had. And we had a little bit of door banging here and there, but I think it was all respectful and within the rules. And I had a bit of a scare on the exit of turn 1 at some point, where I thought I was clear, but I barely wasn't, and nearly died there. But very lucky to be able to catch that one there. And then yeah, eventually it was bound to happen, but he got past me, and then right away he made a mistake and threw me a lifeline. So that was very lucky. And then yeah, I hoped that Eamon and Daniel behind me would hold him up. So I decided once Daniel got very close to me, I'm gonna pit, and then hopefully they hold up Cody, and then if he pits to avoid that, then he's gonna be behind me. But then of course right as I pit, they take each other out, so that wasn't ideal. But yeah, after that it was just get to the end, and yeah, not much else I could do there.
Now, talking through that time penalty that you did see, was that a moment that you saw as a glimmer of maybe you could increase your position, or did you look at that as that's tough for him and can't really come back from yourself? But what was your reaction from that, and did you see a chance that you could improve your position?
My reaction was how do you even manage that again? Because like he was under zero pressure at that point, no one around him, so yeah, I don't really understand why you would at that point push it that much, but he did, and he paid the price for it. And I mean, at first I was like, nah, it's never gonna happen, and then of course he did that 40.8, and I was like, okay, maybe if he does another bad lap there's a small chance, but no. Just had to make do with what I had.
I can confirm that we did get our results here. It is you finishing 12.5 seconds off the lead. So you were there, very close, maybe a little bit of luck, but back-to-back on the podium. Is there potentially a championship in sight as we look ahead past now for the next 3 weeks?
I mean, never say never, but yeah, I definitely need a little bit more pace if I want to be fully in contention, but I think I could definitely be in for a good result.
Can't wait to see what you can do. Mike, congratulations. It's a back-to-back podium finish for you. A great way to kick off the championship.
Thank you.
That's going to do it here for round 1 and 2. 3 weeks of MX-5 March left to go. We head over the border to the north of Canada for week 2, rounds 3 and 4, Mosport Park. That session's going to be up right away. Can't wait to see you. Hopefully we can see you. That was some great racing, though. Nonetheless, you guys made MX-5 racing look 10 out of 10. Some of the best racing we've seen all year long. Congratulations to all our drivers, to everyone who took part, and we hope to see you in 1 week's time. Once again, round 3 and 4 at Mosport. And that's going to be it. We'll see you next week, same time, same place. However, daylight saving, please keep a close eye on what we got going on our social media. We will announce any subtle time changes. So maybe not same time, but definitely same place. Only here at CMRSC, best of the best, giving us some amazing action. The first MX-5 championship in the 5 years CMRSC has been around. We're going to have some fun for the next 3 weeks. If that's what Brands Hatch is all about, and this is what this championship is all about, we have a long road ahead to crown a champion.